7. Okay. So, hi everybody. Darlene, it looks like you and Patty are our guests this evening, and I have 3 oils to give away. So, this will be fun. I'll have to find maybe somebody on the team to give it away to since I have 3. What do you think? Someone on the team want to get one? Anyway, I want to welcome you. This is the summer webinars. Tonight we are doing testimonies unplugged. And I'm really excited. Nobody has to speak compliantly. We are in Zoom and we're not going to put it anywhere on social media. So we're free to speak freely this evening. And for those of you who don't know, I'd like to introduce some of the team leaders. Sandy over there is on Kelly Bruni's team. She's her frontline leader. Stephanie is technically one of my frontline leaders because I have enrollment of her now, which is awesome. And then we have Kathy and Kathy's frontline leader, Janie. And then our guests are Patty and Darlene. And of course, Kimberly is supposed to be here, I think. And we have a special guest tonight. So, with the testimonies unplugged, I saved the best introduction here for last. Many of you haven't seen this face of Sandra Verva for many moons. And so I went after her and I asked her if she would come and share because Sandra's testimony is the one that really pulled me along into doTERRA. She's the one who introduced me, and it was because of what she shared, the power of her testimony that made me. I just walked right up to her, didn't I, Sandra, and said, "Sign me up. I just need to sign up. I need to do this."
Yes, you did.
So, anyway, I think you all will enjoy it too. And then this will be posted. Jennifer Davis has a private YouTube channel. Everybody who's on the mailing list and gets the link will be able to view this later. So, it will be secret, private on YouTube. So, go ahead and share your heart out. And remember, there'll be some other people that will come and take a peek at it. So, with that said, I think all the housekeeping is out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Sandra. And Sandra, welcome.
Oh, hello, everybody. It's nice to meet you and be on this call with you guys. I was almost going to have to record something, but I really like talking to people live about my story. It's kind of hard to talk about it when you're on a recording just looking at a computer. Because I get to look at all your faces. Um, actually, I'm gonna, if Lisa lets me tell a short other story, I got 2 stories. One that really was something that when I was actually, let's see here, I had been approached by a Diane Shepherd to look at doTERRA, and at the time that she approached me, she actually had even driven me to one of my doctor's appointments where I was having such bad back issues that had been getting worse year after year, probably because if anybody knows me, I tend to move a lot, and I guess I really like it. I still do, and I'm moving in 3 weeks again. So I love new houses, so maybe that's what it is. I think it started to take its toll on my back years ago, and I joined doTERRA in 2012. So in 2012, I was extremely, it was very debilitating. I was suffering from what was called degenerative disc disease, arthritis in my spine, and a bulging disc. At the time that I had seen a doctor, tried some physical therapy, went to a chiropractor, done all sorts of things. If anybody's ever had back issues, gone to a chiropractor, stretch your back, try this, that, and the other, pounding this, electrodes, all that stuff, right? Till he finally said, I can't do anymore. You're just wasting your money coming to me. I went to a back surgeon and asked if looking at what can you do. Now, this is, as you very well know, this is pre-doTERRA. And he said, honey, you're way too young for me to do anything with your spine. You will regret it. Why don't you try doing some yoga? And I'm like, I can't even hardly move. If anybody's ever suffered from any of those one or two things, let alone all three, I was told degenerative disc disease only gets worse. Arthritis can only get worse. And the bulging disc can only get worse. Oh, okay. So basically I can just get worse, but never get better. Okay. That sounds lovely. So are you sure you can't like fuse my spine, do anything to get rid of it? Because if you've ever been in that much pain, I think I was at, whenever I moved, a nerve would just get hit and I would just like, it just froze me. You couldn't do anything. So it was very uncomfortable. I didn't want that pain. When you're in that much pain, you'll do anything. So he said no. Chiropractor said, I'm going to send you to a pain specialist. I was in Phoenix and the pain specialist dealt with back issues. And basically what they do is they do steroid injections in your spine. And then that really wasn't working. Oh, by the way, I had tried up to 16 ibuprofen a day, not knowing why did my stomach hurt one day. And I paid over $1,000 in lab bills to find out after they asked me, are you taking Advil? Yeah. They just didn't ask the right questions at the time. So, of course, I stopped doing that. But as I was going to the pain specialist and they would do these steroid injections, they would work maybe for a week, or then they'd work for maybe a few days. And then they're like, okay, we need to do something else. And we're going to stop the communication of pain from your spine to your brain. And we're going to do something else that I can't even remember what it was called. I'm like looking on my notes to see if it was in here. Radio frequency ablation. And that didn't work either. And so I'd had the MRI, so they would show me everything that was going on. And then I think I was moving back to New York and they didn't have anything up there for me. So Diane actually had driven me to one of those appointments when I was getting those injections, because they kind of put you out in a twilight to get it done. And she had told me, we should talk. Maybe there's something that doTERRA can do to help you. And I had just gotten back into doing Pampered Chef again. And I said, Diane, I am not going to join another company, and Diane used to be my upline in Pampered Chef. That's right. So she really knew, and I was very successful in Pampered Chef. And I was in the top 1 to 5% in that company and taught at their national conventions. And so she knew what she had an opportunity if she could talk to me about it. I was trying to get her to do a Pampered Chef show. She said, I'll do one if you'll come over and listen to us talk about doTERRA. That's how she got to talking to me about it. Long story short, she's like, just try these oils. We're going to give you a regimen. And Sharon McDonald said, here's what we want you to do. We want you to take these Lifelong Vitality. And I'm sure at the time that you guys all joined, you're like, I'm going to take vitamins for my back, right? That's the way I thought. She goes, I said, okay, I'll do whatever you tell me to do, because this ain't going to work. But I'm going to prove them wrong. So I'm going to do whatever they tell me to do. Right? Lifelong Vitality, a whole lot of pills. I'd never taken that many pills in a day before. You want me to take 3 bottles? You want me to take 4 of each one? Really? Fine. If I have to take, I used to take 16 Advil, so why don't I take these 2? Okay. She's like, now I want you to take Helichrysum. And I'd watched a video on Helichrysum by that Elise Chedeville had these doctors in Utah, and they did a video and they said Helichrysum is like a steroid. And that, bing, oh, I got to do that on my back. Okay. And by the way, all these oils she was telling me you do 3 times a day. So treat it like medicine, she said. And I'm like, I'll do whatever. Deep blue rub. I'm not telling you any order, okay? Frankincense, for inflammation. And I think I might have, oh, she said lemongrass. Now, my skin was so sensitive, it didn't matter how many different times I tried to do it with oil, fractionated coconut oil. I couldn't do it because I would always get the bumps on my back. I was using too many oils, so that just exasperated everything. So I switched it out for the white fur that we had at the time, which is now we have Siberian fur.
Right.
And I think occasionally I might have thrown in Aroma Touch. I was just like, I'll throw the kitchen sink at it, right? 3 times a day. Now, during this process, I'll be honest with you. I felt no different, and I kept going to get these things done with the steroid injections. Okay. I started to feel a little bit more energy from the Lifeline Vitality, but I was kind of like, see, this isn't going to work, right? Now, in this time that I was still in Arizona, I had my little dachshund, Caesar. It's not the one I have now. He was there, and he had had a back surgery a few years earlier. And so, dachshunds are long wiener dogs, and they can really harm their backs easily. And one day he just wasn't doing really well. I took him to the emergency doctor for dogs, vet, and they gave him a bunch of medications. And the next day it was worse. And I brought him back, and they said, we can't give him any steroids because he had those medications last night. We're going to have to wait a week. But judging from what's going on, we think it's neurological. And you're probably going to have to prepare yourself to put him down. And, he's my baby, if you have a pet, you know what I mean? And so I said, no, we're going to wait. We're going to wait so we can give him these steroids. And they said I couldn't remember if it was 5 or 7 days. So here I am with all these oils going, all right, you guys. And I think I put it online, Facebook. And I was like, what do I do for my dachshund who's had this back issue and they think it's neurological? Okay, I'm just going to quiz you guys. If anybody knows the one oil that would be for neurological, say it. What do you think it was?
Frankincense.
Who
Kristen.
What?
Cypress?
Nope. Lisa, don't say. Lisa, don't say. No, we did not have copaiba. Anybody else want to guess?
Frankincense.
Yes. Frankincense is the one of just a few oils that the molecules are so small that it will pass the blood-brain barrier.
Yes.
Okay, so anything brain related. So Nora Johnson, Diane's sister, said, use frankincense at the base of his skull, put deep blue on his back, and put peppermint on his paws. I'm like, I'm doing this like 3-4 times a day. I literally would have to hold a towel under his belly so I could bring him outside and have him kind of stand up to go pee how many times a day, or even poop, because he couldn't walk. He just stayed in one spot. Okay. I don't know how many days this was, if it was 3 or 4. No, it was 3. Yeah, I'll tell you why, because this story is absolutely priceless to me. And I would always tell these stories at my classes. It was Easter Sunday and I went to church. And when I came home, 3 days later, he rose again. My dog was not on his little pad. I had to go look for him, and I found poop in another bedroom. And I'm like, oh my God, she's walking. So I'm like, okay, if these oils can heal my dog, then they should be able to heal me. Now I was super excited about that. Yeah. When you're in that much pain, though, you don't really notice when you're not in pain as much as you are in pain. And I had left Arizona. It had been about a month that I would use those oils. And then another month when I was back, I was married at the time. And my husband at the time said, do you realize you're not complaining every time you move? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not. So I actually went from 3 times a day with the oils to 2 times a day to 1 time a day to 0 times a day. And I'm not going to say everything was 100%, because I can only stand so long and then my back would get sore. I could only sit for so long and I'd have to, stand up and stretch. There was still some issues in my back, but I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I want to cry. Now, let's fast forward a little bit. Because not only as you're using doTERRA, you start taking Lifelong Vitality, you start taking DDR Prime, you start taking this, that, the other in the kitchen sink, right? And I got cocky and sick of taking so many pills. So I stopped taking my Lifelong Vitality. And after that happened, I was working out and I pulled a muscle in my back and I used Deep Blue Rub, and it helped make it go away. But I didn't take my Lifelong Vitality again. Another week or two later, I was down. No Deep Blue was helping me get back. Wow. I had to take my Lifelong Vitality again. Boom, back to normal within a month. And I was like, oh my gosh, I will never stop that again. Lie, Sandra Verva. Because I stopped again. I got cocky, or it wasn't getting cocky. It was just tired of taking them, or I just was like, I'll take them tomorrow. Well, you know how that is, procrastination. I don't even know the rest of it, but you know what I mean. And then I had it happen again. Same thing. Not working out. I don't know what happened. I'm like, you can't stop taking it. So I would tell people I will give up my oils before I give up my Lifelong Vitality, because it's what keeps my back. It keeps my body, and it's like keeps that inflammation down, because our body just wants to just, and I don't eat always healthy. I can eat sugar and booms, there it goes. So there's 2 testimonies in one for you guys with Lifelong Vitality. I really don't think there's a ton of oils you can try, but I've helped a lot of people with back issues, and some people will just take, they don't want to go full on. And then I said, okay, well, let's just do the Lifelong Vitality, because that's better for you. That's, getting healthy food in you anyways. So some don't need all the oils. And I'll tell you do I have another minute?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Yes.
So here's another part of a Lifelong Vitality. Okay, this is a funny one. So I met this guy online to go dating, and I didn't really jive with him, but he was very holistic himself. So he wanted to hear about the oil. So I said, well, let's meet another time for that. So he came over, he told me his story about how he used to surf all the time, and he hadn't been on a surfboard in 5 years. And he was getting acupuncture, he eats healthy, he's on spot, right? And nothing, his back is still messed up. So he decided to do just the Lifelong Vitality. And within either 3 or 6 months, and to this day, he still surfs. So wow. I was so excited. And to this day, we're still friends.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Sandra, I have awesome. A question.
Yes.
If it's okay. Your testimony is so powerful, but you didn't tell us, was there a period of time? Because I know sometimes, and I think you shared this with me when I got started in doTERRA, give it 90 days if you have a chronic pain issue, right? So was
right. Because I'm actually not trying to sell you guys doTERRA right now, but in my class, I say this is the only product, of course, I'm telling them, if you want to feel more energy, less pain, less inflammation, and you want to have less depression, this is a really good product to do that with. And it's the only product doTERRA gives you a 30-day money back guarantee, or it's 6 weeks from door to door. So, if you have empty bottles, you literally can return them. But I'll be honest with you, if you've been suffering with like me, and it's been something like you'll try anything to get it to go away. Mine didn't go away in just 2 weeks or 30 days. And even with just Deep Blue, I was not finding that worked for me at the time, but I had to be consistent like medication. So give it 90 days. You've tried everything else. This will work for you. I guarantee it will. I'd even want to give you money back if it doesn't work, and you have to prove to me you actually did it every day, 3 times a day with those oils, because that's what sometimes people stop doing, and they don't think of it as medicine, but they'll do everything that their doctor tells them to do,
right?
And then go back and try something else if this didn't work.
That's right.
So.
That's right. Yeah.
And this
So
is
you
how I
heard
talk
it
in my
here,
classes.
just you people, but you got the Sandra Verva refund, okay? But it really does for chronic pain. It's something that you have to work at. It took you a while to get there, right?
It did.
So
And
it
you know,
took a while
honestly,
to
just
come out.
because I use those certain oils doesn't mean those oils will necessarily work for you.
Right.
That's why we have so many oils for pain and inflammation.
Yeah.
I take Copaiba every day, you know, in addition to my Lifeline Vitality and a whole slew of other things. But anyways, we don't need to go there.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Thank you.
Just wanted to share that because I remember when she was going through this, and I loved that Sandra was always so honest with us. She said, I'm not 100%, but I am 80% when she was first walking through. And now, what would you say now, Sandra, with your, continual kind of discipline? Where are you these days
I
in
would
your back?
say, I was at 95%. But then
That's awesome.
when I moved here last year, I did a really dumb thing with twisting and turning with heavy objects. Like I did it so many times to move things 6 locations in a garage and then into my house. The next day I couldn't move. I damaged something on one side of my back, and it's at bay, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I can't move. But it's something that will flare up every now and then, and it does not go away 100%. But
Okay.
I don't use oils 3 times a day on it either.
Yeah.
You know, but it's still, I would say now I'm more like 90%. I was better before I did that last year.
And for you all, she didn't share with you, but she used to spend 80% of her time laying down, trying to
Oh,
keep her
yes.
back stable,
Yes.
right? And only
Yeah, I
20%
couldn't
of
hardly
her
move.
time up. So it was,
Yeah, I couldn't hardly
really,
move.
really powerful. Sandra, thank you so much. And I know that you were just going to come on and share your testimony. So you are free to go if you need to leave us,
Thank
and you're free to
you.
stay too
I have
if
to
you want
get
to
on
hear
another
anything
Zoom
else.
call. So thank you
Okay.
so much.
All right. Thank you for
Oh.
coming.
Bye.
See you later. Okay. So the next testimony that I have on the schedule is I have Stephanie, who has a really powerful testimony with her daughter. We tried to run the gamut, kind of some adult things, kind of some senior things, and some middle of the road things, right? So Stephanie, again, Kim, you just hopped on. Stephanie is my frontline leader. I have enrollership of her, even though she's kind of, down a level, but she belongs to me. So that's, go ahead, Stephanie, please share with us
First of
what's
all,
happened with you. Are
well,
you
I
there?
apologize
Oh,
for
there
the glare. I can't get rid of it on my the glare on my glass. So I have a 2.5-year-old, and she won't sleep through the night. And if you know how that is, trying to get a good night's sleep with a toddler who wakes up multiple times a night. So I've tried, Serenity, and I've tried the children's oils, and they help. But she was still waking up, once or twice a night. And it's hard when you've got, a life to live and a house to run and kids to teach and all that. So I was watching some oil classes, and someone mentioned frankincense as a sleep oil. And I never thought about that before. So I thought, well, what's it gonna hurt? There's other benefits from that oil anyway. So I started putting frankincense on her every night and putting it in the diffuser. And we're going on 2 weeks of her sleeping all night long, not waking up at all, which means mama gets to sleep.
Right.
So that's my little testimony on frankincense.
And Stephanie,
I never thought about it as a sleep.
Yeah,
We
I
say
don't
when
think,
in doubt, use frankincense, but still, it just never thought about it. So
I don't think
that's what
any
we
of us
do,
did.
part of our bedtime routine.
So where do you put it? Can you tell us what you do and where you put it for Rylan, please? Yeah,
Absolutely.
see, how do you use it?
Well,
Just
I usually,
diffuser?
So I use the children's oil. Well, I like the touch rollers. They're easier. I usually apply it on the back of her neck, maybe down her spine.
Okay.
And since that has a little dilution, I'll just use the frankincense straight out of the bottle on my finger and just rub it down her spine. And if I run her diffuser at night, I don't always, sometimes I forget, but I'll put a drop or two in there.
Okay.
And it's been amazing. She gets calm, she goes to sleep quick, she sleeps, 10 hours or so every night.
That's amazing. From
It's amazing.
how many hours was she sleeping before, with
She
her
would
broken
sleep.
sleep?
She would sleep about 4, wake up, which means I have to get up with her, rock her, get her back to sleep. And that could take anywhere from, half an hour to 3 hours sometimes. And then
Wow.
she'd go back to sleep. So
Do you put on the
Very nice that-
Hallelujah chorus at night now before you go to bed?
so nice. Yes.
Hallelujah chorus. Hallelujah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Stephanie, thank you so much for sharing. And then the next person that I asked
you're
to
welcome.
share tonight is very powerful as well, and that would be Janie Allen. She is going to share something with us, I believe, about kidneys. Is that right, Janie?
Kidneys?
Was it
No,
kidneys?
not really.
No, okay. What were you going to share?
Several different things, I guess. I've got quite a few customers with amazing testimonies, but unfortunately, they're all without internet, or you can't. I'd have to bring them to my house. Anyway, my most recent one is not really a health thing, but I've got an older woman in town, and she loves that beautiful body spray.
Right?
But what she uses it for is her hair. She said she loves the way it makes her hair look and feel. She said it feels like hair.
So she sprays beautiful in her hair? Uh-oh, did we lose Janie? Darn. She has good things to say. Are you frozen?
I actually just seen a post about that today.
Wow.
Muted.
Janie,
Janie muted herself.
You're
I think.
muted, honey.
What did she say she uses? She was breaking up. I couldn't understand her.
I know. The beautiful spray. If you can
I
get yourself off
used
mute,
that.
Janie, that would be amazing. There you go. Mute is off. Try
Yes.
it again.
Okay. You got the beautiful body spray, right?
Yep.
No. Oh no. Can you hear me?
We can right
Can
now.
you hear me? Am I back on mute? Nope. No,
No,
I'm
you're not muted. We can hear you.
in for the moment. All right. Another one, she drinks a drop or two of lemon oil in her water regularly. And as she was doing that, every time she went back to the doctor, her blood pressure got lower and lower and lower. She had real high blood pressure, and the doctor finally said that was the only thing she was doing for that.
Wow.
And then Steve was in a wheelchair and with the LLV, and he was also taking the Deep Blue supplement and the probiotics and the Terrazine. Yeah. And his pain level got better and better, and he was able to, went over there one day, he was mowing his grass.
He was mowing his
No
grass?
longer in a wheelchair.
What?
He's got some other health concerns going on right now, but it certainly the LL. Huh?
That is fantastic.
What did you say?
No, I said he
You're
was
frozen.
mowing his grass. That's what I
Oh, no.
asked you. Standing up, right?
Yes. Yeah,
That's
you met him
awesome.
at that meeting. You met him at the meeting when he was in the wheelchair. Yeah.
I did. I
Then of
did.
course I've got my neighbor down the street that was in stage 3 kidney failure.
Yeah.
and they were trying to get her to go on dialysis. Yeah. And she did the cleanse and was diffusing the oils a lot. She never took the LLV, I don't think, but she did the cleanse. She was drinking a lot of lemon oil in her water, diffusing the oils. And every time she went back to the doctor, her work was a little bit better, and she came all the way back up to normal, but it was over the course of 2 or 3 years. But you know, she was going in a positive direction. So
Janie, those were
we're frozen
powerful.
again.
We heard you though. We heard you clearly, and those were powerful testimonies. Thank you so much for sharing. Would you do us a favor and the kidney failure gal, can you remember the protocol that you used?
Uh-huh.
I know it took time. Can you type it up in the chat for us since you kind of keep cutting out, or even, you know, that messenger thread that we have on Facebook? If you wanted to put it in there, then we could save it. That would be great. I think we lost her again. But did you all hear that? Those were amazing, weren't they? There's your face, Janie. Thank you. That was really, really great. And then I think I have another guest because I kind of pulled on Sandy. Oh,
Yeah.
did she say something? Yeah.
You
I pulled on.
I'm back again.
What did she say, guys?
Can you hear me?
Sandy, I can hear you. Yeah. So,
Okay.
Janie, you froze
Yeah,
again.
it keeps
We love
breaking
it.
up on my. Thank you. Actually, I wasn't going to talk about this, but since Sandra brought up helping her dog, I have a story with my cat, and he's right next to me now. Anyways, he always used the litter box, never missed the litter box, and all of a sudden he started peeing on the couch, and a couple of times in a row. And you know, my husband's like, oh, he's pissed about something, and I'm like, nope, something, he's trying to tell us something's wrong. So we took him to the vet, and he had crystals in his urine. The first thing they asked is, did you use a certain cat food? And I said, yes, that's what I use. Okay, this causes crystals in the urine. They don't actually, you know, it doesn't go through them very well. And they gave me these big pills, like horse pills, to give him to get rid of that. And my husband was able to get one down his throat, and the second one we found, you know, he threw it up down the stairs. And so I'm like, how are we gonna get these pills in? This is not gonna work. So I took out juniper berry.
Okay.
So actually I looked it up, and it said to use juniper berry. Let me see if I can grab my cat.
Cool. Way to go,
I
Kim.
like this. Our baby.
Oh,
So
what
what
a
we did,
pretty
he's stuck on me.
kitty. Look
Okay,
at
I
that
held them
kitty.
just kind of like I'm doing now. I had my juniper berry. I went right here.
In the bladder area, okay.
I rubbed this on him. The next day, he was feeling better. Never had a problem again.
That is amazing.
But
That is
yeah,
an
so
amazing
juniper berry, I mean,
testimony.
it works for people that have the kidney stones too, you know, rub it on your
Yeah.
stomach, but it worked for my cat.
That's
So
fantastic.
that was the one I wanted to share. Another one is my husband. I don't know most of the people on the list, but he has cancer, and so he's doing radiation right on his jaw. And so I made it was actually a sunburn spray that I got from one of the books, but because the radiation causes a burn on the skin, I made this. It's not the right label, I guess. Cool. You can barely see it. Anyways, it has peppermint, lavender, frankincense, and geranium in there, and then some water and a tablespoon of fractionated coconut oil. So as soon as he gets out of the radiation, I spray this on him. They give us the Aquaphor, and I do use it, but because it's so oily, I think for me, I think if you put this on right after they just did the radiation, it feels like it would keep the heat in. So that's why I started using the spray. So I'll use the spray right away. I've also used the helichrysum and rose. and he has not had some of the conditions that I see other people have. It's gotten, so it's right here where he gets the radiation on his neck. So it looks a tiny bit red, doesn't even look like a sunburn since I've been doing this. I've also in the beginning was using the Correct X. So I just kind of go with my feeling with all three of those. And he is actually on 29 out of his 35 radiations. And his skin, his neck looks great. He had a little red spot back here, I guess from the way the radiation, it goes out the back, which I didn't see till maybe 3 weeks into it. Immediately I put, and lavender, I have the lavender touch. So I just rolled that on it. And the next day it was already lighter. So that's been working for us.
Andy, that's
for
awesome.
radiation for the skin.
Yeah. I keep you in
So-
in my prayers as you come to mind.
you.
So I'm really hoping it will be a good report
Thank
at
you.
the end. And I think, is he battling
Thank you.
lymphoma, a form of lymphoma?
No, he
Sandy?
had tonsil cancer.
Tonsil cancer.
So it's kind of rare, but it's part of, they consider it part of head and neck cancer, which is like a really, as far as radiation goes, that's the worst one you can have for radiation because it makes the saliva really, really thick. And so it's usually, they say by the 3rd or 4th week, you can't swallow. And a lot of people get a port. So he's only got 1 week left and was eating up until yesterday. Now he's just doing Boost and protein shakes.
Okay.
But he says that the oils have really made a difference. I've also thrown some elevation, cheer, stuff like that. I talked to you, Lisa, about the humidifier.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I had put a post on my Facebook. Did anybody buy the humidifier? And no response. I said, I'm going to ask Lisa. And Lisa says, yes, my husband uses that too. And I was really like, I don't know. It didn't look as big as it looked smaller in the picture. And I was like, I don't know if that's enough for the whole room and stuff. And I bought it and it's big. And I fill up my tea kettle with water and to pour it in there. It lasts all day.
Yes.
And I don't know if you guys know, I mean, there's 4 different, there's a low mist, medium mist, high mist, and there's also a sleep mode. Now, when you put it in sleep mode, it automatically adjusts the mist level to maintain a 60% humidity while you sleep.
Okay.
I don't know if I lost you because I think everything froze on the computer, on my computer.
We can hear you.
Can you
hear
guys still hear
fine.
me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So I love having it. I was using Just Breathe and a little peppermint in the beginning. Somebody did a thing about the new oils with the forest and something else, and to keep out from the COVID. What is it throwing off? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
About people
Yeah.
worried
Shedding.
about getting
It's
the
right.
shedding.
Right.
Shedding. Yes.
Right.
So I did that inside there in a humidifier, and that's when my husband said, I can't do that, turn that off. And so I went back to Just Breathe and peppermint.
Okay.
The other one was a
Okay,
little
but-
bit too much for him because the smells, when you go through radiation, your sense of smell, I mean, it's just everything is bothering you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Sandy, I don't know if you know, but Barry had Hodgkin's lymphoma a year into our marriage. And of course,
Yeah.
we didn't have any oils. This was back in 1990 is when he was diagnosed. So we went
Yeah.
through 6 months of chemo because we didn't know better. And then 9 months of radiation. So I feel ya, sister. I
yeah.
really do. It was horror. So I'm glad though that you have the oils to
Yeah.
support him in
Yeah.
this time.
And I
didn't
didn't know
have
your
any
I
of
didn't
that.
know your story until I asked you about the diffuser.
Yeah. So
So
anyway, we'll keep you in our prayers, and I pray the diffuser is helping him at night. Is it to keep his saliva thin? I mean, what is your hope with the diffuser?
but the humidifier, just to make the air better around him.
Gotcha.
They also get nauseous
Yeah.
because of all the saliva. It gets
Yeah.
really, really thick in their throat. So I tried to do ginger, and ginger was just too strong of a smell for him.
Okay.
I believe the peppermint and breathe together was just a little bit inside the
Yeah, you're freezing, but we heard you. The peppermint and breathe and how helpful
okay.
that is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sandy, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Because you guys, you know what? I just
Thank
put
you.
her on the spot because I don't know if you saw, but I have my continuing education page. I just went in there and did a quick blast. We want you to join us if you come and you have a testimony. And Sandy wasn't prepared. I said, Sandy, did you join us because of the post? Do you have a testimony? She goes, well, do we have to be compliant? And I'm like, no, testimonies unplugged. She's like, I'll get it. You know, Sandy, our friend Kim had one more question. Would you tell us the name of the kitty food that we should all avoid, if you remember? The cat food that made the crystals. What's the name of it?
I didn't know if I was supposed to say it or not, but it's Rachel Ray, and you think she's a cook, so you'd think she would have good cat food. Good, no, she goes on the commercials talking about her food for cats and dogs, and then she cooks for people too. And I'm thinking, you know, why would that be bad? And it was the first thing the vet asked me, do you use Rachel Ray cat food? Yes, I do. So I was kind of shocked about that too.
Okay. And so Kathy is asking, what kind of food do you use now for your kitty?
Do I use now?
Yes.
Right now I'm just using the Purina. I think it's Purina, but it's for what do you call it? Indigestion, kind of, you know, for senior cats.
Okay.
So it's a natural one.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. And welcome Dale and Bonnie. We're getting close to winding up, but I'm really happy that you joined us. Yay. So are they yours, Kimberly?
Yep, they're with me.
Yay. Okay. So I'm going to put Dale and Bonnie on the wheel now too. Okay. Woohoo. 1 second. And Bonnie. There we go. Yippee. I love when we have lots of guests so we can do lots of fun drawings, right? All right. So these were really fantastic testimonies. I only have one more to share. I think we got everybody. Kathy, did you have something you wanted to say this evening? Okay. Okay. So Kathy has something too. I want to give her the opportunity. She's looking pretty and she doesn't look frozen. So pray for Kathy.
Absolutely not. Let me have a freeze. Mine was on my back. If y'all remember a few years ago, I crushed 25% of the T12 vertebrae in my back. Just fell. I'm not very graceful on things, but anyway, Janie had brought me a roller bottle in the hospital. They took me straight to hospital when we got home. And that helped just a lot with the pain because it was bad. And they wanted to do surgery. I denied the surgery, which come to find out was the best thing I could ever done. But I used the Lifelong Vitality, and I still do, the bone supplement and the women's phytoestrogen. And I use several of the oils for bone. If you look it up in Modern Essentials, the bone health thing there.
Yes.
Roll my spine twice a day. But in 3 months, I was totally well. No sign, not even any scar tissue, which they thought was pretty amazing that I didn't have scar tissue in the bone. So I'm back in the gym in 3.5 months after I had it done. Am I
Kathy
froze?
Gobble.
I
Wow.
froze.
That's amazing. So you said you used Lifelong Vitality, phytoestrogen, the
Did-
bone
Did you get that or
nutrients.
not? Did I freeze that?
You're frozen, but we heard most of what you said. Your voice kept going. So
they-
that was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bone nutrient. Did you say
It's the
frankincense?
roller bottle for Bone Hill.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
there were several, it's in the Modern Essentials. I can
Yeah.
type that up for Bone Health.
Yep.
It's listed
Okay.
in the Modern Essentials, and that's what I made the roller bottle out of.
Okay.
I'll
Excellent.
type it up and put it on the message thing.
Thank you. That would be great. So, what do you guys think of these testimonies tonight? Aren't they amazing? I know, I know. So, I just have a small one because it's already 5:53. That went really fast. I just wanted to share with all of you that Barry has struggled with something called basal cell carcinoma, and he has had 3 of those removed because that's all doctors know how to do is take out the knife and go chop, chop. So they took like part of his nose and they took like the back of his ear and then they took a hunk out of his back. Come in doTERRA, right? So I started to learn all about skin issues and Barry started to develop a really dark, it comes up kind of as a dark circle and generally basal cells are non-malignant, benign. That was the word I was looking for. But the thing is that they can grow and sometimes they can make pits in the skin. So what we did was we got out frankincense. Now, I know that our men, we women struggle with taking something consistently. You heard from Sandra, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I just don't have the time to do that. Or, oh no, how do I choke down 3 pills? Just sometimes we get weary of those things. So my husband, he was only putting frankincense on once a day. Now, as a woman, if I had a spot, I'd be hitting it 3 times a day at least, right? That's what we do as women, right? Ooh, get rid of that, get rid of that. This wrinkle thing, no, I haven't really found a lot of success with that just yet. Hopefully I will and I'll be back. But whole point is that thing went from being a very dark, large spot in 1 year's time. It's not there. Frankincense is amazing. I think we probably talked most about that tonight. So just a powerful, powerful tool in your toolbox. So there you go. And like, who was it? Somebody earlier, Stephanie said, sometimes when you're using the oils, we all have different body chemistry. So Sandra was mentioning that you would use different oils for inflammation. If one of them didn't match your body chemistry, don't give up on us because we have so many for inflammation in the body. So in this case, for Barry, that worked, but we have other also oils that are for your skin, just like we have oils for inflammation. So just keep working with us. Right now he has a stronger one and we upped his game. So he's got frankincense, he's got immortelle and rose going on, a new one that had come up. So I'll keep you posted on that. All right. But these things are amazing. And I love that we have the ability to take control of our health and do it naturally. Because I know that Sandy was holding up a little bottle, and I'm not sure that it pertains to what she was using, but most over the counter topical things have chemicals and they have like these numbers and they have these names that are so long you can't even pronounce them, right? And we have to remember that this organ absorbs those things through our skin and into our bloodstream. So we all want to try to be as natural as we can, because toxicity is yucky. right? Just yucky. So, all right. So those are all the testimonies tonight. What I'd like to do now is I have 3 oils to give away tonight for all the guests that came. I have a pink pepper, which is a very marvelous oil, really good for skin too, believe it or not. And then I have some fragrant oils. I've got green mandarin and island mint to give away. Okay. And if you would like more information, if you are the winner and you want more information on what these oils do, we will send you a message. Whoever invited you will send you a message with what this oil does, because I did not bring my book over here tonight. Please forgive me. Okay. So I have 4 people in my spinny wheel, and I am going to spin, and we're going to give away every one of these oils tonight to our guests. Is everybody happy about that? I'm so happy about that. Whoa. Okay. Ready? Here we go. Oh, I'm so bad with which way this thing goes. Woohoo! It's Bonnie and Dale. Okay. So Bonnie and Dale, what I need you to do is pick one of these 3 oils. You get, since you're the first winner, you get to choose. So it's pink pepper, island mint, or a citrus oil, green mandarin. What sounds good to you? She's muted. Oh, there she goes. No, she. Can you?
I think the citrus.
The citrus, the green mandarin. Okay. Woohoo! Congratulations. And if you could get your address to Kim, who will get it to me, I will get it in the mail to you tomorrow. Okay. All right.
I can do that. Thank you.
We have Darlene and Patty. And do you think we should include Dale? Because he was right there. His face was right there. Should we spin again? Is it okay if they win twice? Will anybody be mad? Nobody will be mad, right? Okay, good. Here we go again. Oops. Come on, let's go. There we go. Oop, there we go. All right. Patty! Woohoo! Yay! All right, so Patty, pink pepper or island mint?
I want to try the pink pepper.
You've got it. All right, so Patty has pink pepper. Now we're spinning for the last one, which is island mint. And I'm going to take Patty's name out, and that leaves Dale and Darlene, a 50-50 chance here. Okay, here we go. What? Darlene! That is awesome. I'm so sorry, guys. This camera makes me so confused. I never know which way to go here. Okay, so Darlene, you get island mint. And I want to thank you all so much for being here tonight. Always at the end, I offer, if anybody's interested in doTERRA, as first, if you're not a member and you've been piqued, your interest has been piqued with how you can use natural solutions for your health. And Patty had a burn. And if you guys had been here 2 weeks ago, it was pretty bad on her hand. And she came and showed us her hand. You can't see anything. There's not a scar. There's nothing there. And I believe you used lavender, right, Patty, for your burn? Yep.
I use lavender and peppermint.
Yes, yes, cooling, and lavender is so healing and generally can minimize, if not completely remove the scar. And I don't see anything on Patty's hand. That's pretty amazing.
You did a few weeks ago, but not
Yeah,
now.
it looked bad when she was here. She's a baker. I think she was baking, right? And burned
Yeah.
herself. So, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so on that note, if you're not a member and the person who invited you tonight, please get together with them and they will tell you how you can get these beautiful oils in your life. And then if anybody is interested, because last I heard there are about 700 and some odd thousand people unemployed, would you like to be an entrepreneur? If you would be interested in having your own business or even being a sharer, I do a short, I think it's about a 10-minute presentation, and I will let everybody else go who is done and ready to go. And if anybody's interested, I'll just remain here till the end and show a business presentation to you. Okay? So thank you everyone who shared. Thank you, Stephanie. Hi to Rylan. I saw her come up on your lap. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank
And
you.
Janie. Janie, yours are so powerful. They were so good. And Barry is taking LLB every single day. Kim, yes. He only does it once a day because he, like the frankincense, that's all I can do, is, you know, but yes, once a day, every single day. So yeah. Okay. So bye, or are y'all staying? I don't know. I'll just wait. Give it a couple minutes. You know what else I'll do is I'm going to stop the recording now too before that. So